Vibe Show 97.9. It is going down real exclusive, home of the most exclusive guest on the planet. And today we have a giant joining us on the show. So make sure y'all keep it locked in. Don't go nowhere. I have a super surprise for y'all, man. Keep it locked in. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Welcome back. I'm your host, Kano the Don, the Vibe King, and today we have a special guest joining us on the show today. I'm talking about legendary political commentator, former television journalist. We already know the show he was a journalist on, and now the host of his very own show, The Don Lemon Show, also on his own network. Let's just be clear, his own network. I'm talking about the one and only Don Lemon.
How you doing? How you doing? Y'all muted me. But anyway, I'm gonna have to do this for myself. Let's see if you can hear this.
I love it. I love it.
How you
Man,
doing?
I
How you
am I'm
doing?
super excited, man. I'm on a cloud right now. And I have to thank you so much from on behalf of me and the whole team. We just want to say thank you for taking time out of your super busy schedule to come and join us on the show for a little bit. Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you asking me. It's a very busy time for us, but I always make time for the folks, and I love what you do. So, I
Thank you
I
so
had to
much.
show up. I hope I don't show
Thank
out
you.
too much, but I had to show up.
We want you to show out though. We want Don. We want Don. You can let loose on this on the Vibe Show. Now I want to just go ahead on and dive in, and also to man, from the crib. That's super excited. So Don, you are our you for us. Okay, you for us, and we love you so much with everything that you're doing right now. So now nearly 2 decades at CNN. I want to ask you though, what was it any moment in time that you had any indication or that something fishy was going on or that you would be departing from the platform?
Well, I knew something was fishy was going on even before the new management took over. The company was sold and there was new management. And I heard from a very highly well-placed source that they did not want me any longer in prime time and one other person who was there. So, be careful or whatever. So I knew that that was a possibility. And then they asked me to move in the mornings, which was really kind of a setup. And
Right.
they asked me to train some of the newer anchors. Well, they
What?
didn't ask me to train some of the newer anchors. I found out later that they wanted me to train some of the newer anchors, or at least one, and they did not tell me that. And I said, well, wait a minute, that's not my job. And they said, well, we wanted her with you because you're the best. And I said, okay. And then after that, I knew. Wait, are we on live right now? Can I say
Yes.
bad
You
words
can say
here?
whatever you want to
Okay.
say,
And then
whatever.
I knew some fuck shit was going on, and so I just said, hey, it is what it is. So yeah,
Right. Right.
yeah.
So with that happening though, what did you learn? Did it teach you anything about corporate media that you wouldn't have known from inside the newsroom now that you're outside of corporate and doing your own thing now? Was it anything that you learned from that experience?
Well, I learned, the lesson was learned afterwards. Yes, that I wish had I known what I know now about independent media and streaming and digital and all that, I would have gotten out 5 years earlier. I would have had that much of an advantage or a jump on what is happening and what's coming down the pike. There are going to be a lot of people who are like me who are going to be um, ejected from traditional media networks, and they're going to have to try to figure out a way to do it if they want to continue to do it in independent media, or try to get another job at another network. But those jobs are pretty scarce right now. I'm sure you have friends who work in corporate
Right.
media, and it's not a great time. So that's and if I had known that I would have the freedom and I could have had the reach and of what I was doing, because I had been in prime time. I mean, if I had done it 5 years ago, I'd have been in prime time for um, 5 years already, right? I would have had that
Right.
experience, and it wasn't much more penetration that I could have in that particular spot, because the audience was dwindling in cable overall, and so I would have jumped over here immediately, started my own YouTube thing, started a Substack, done memberships and all that
Right.
quicker, a la Roland Martin. And yeah, my platform would be even bigger now. But, so it turned out the way it did. But I still think over the past 2.5 years, we've grown in ways that people are surprised about.
Right.
Um, and yeah, are now some of the people I pitched the show to and we're not interested. They're all come crawling back now. And so
Right.
now
Of course.
I'm
Of
like, oh, wait
course.
a minute. You weren't interested. You didn't believe in me. Now you
Right.
want a piece of this. So it's great now because I'm at a better place I have leverage now.
Right. Let me ask you this. Do you think that, I mean, they had to have known that, because I don't know if these corporate entities understand that okay, it's your platform, but at the same time, we love Don. So if
Yeah.
Don goes and starts a show in the closet, don't they realize that your fans are going to go with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been out of the closet for a long time though. But look,
Right, right, absolutely. I know.
Katrina.
I'm just saying, like, if you would have wherever you would have done a show at, your fans are gonna follow you.
Yes. So you're right. I know what you meant. I'm just having fun with you. Yes, of course. I realize that now. Someone in the chat is saying Roman Stewart is saying Don Lemon cursing. You need to watch my show because I have a real
Right,
potty mouth. My mom tells me all the time, you stop cussing so much on that show. I can cuss on my show. I couldn't do that when I was on the CNN, but now I can.
right,
And I do it all the time. So they no, they don't know. They don't know. They think that, they say the news is a star. That was CNN's thing. The news is a star. The news is a star. No, that's bullshit. The star is the star. The news is the news. And it matters
right,
who is presenting the news. And you can, everybody's not interchangeable. And black people are not interchangeable. If you think that you're going to put a black person in another black person's position, you get rid of them, it ain't going to be the same. They don't bring this
right,
certain skills to the table. And so no matter which network it is, that doesn't mean that that person isn't good. It just means that it's different. And sometimes in different positions on different networks and times of the day, you need people who have certain skills. And so I believe that a morning anchor is different than an afternoon anchor. Although it's closer, but a morning anchor and an afternoon anchor are completely different than a primetime anchor. Right, because it's
right,
prime time is more about opinionated, about point of view, about having discussions rather than just giving the news. So no, they don't know. And as a matter of fact, when I left, I still had 3.5 years left on my contract,
right. I know that.
and they wanted to keep me off the air of all airwaves for 3.5 years, and I said that is just not going to happen.
Right,
And so it's obvious they were worried about the impact that I would have not only on the place that I left, on the platform that I left, meaning, in the hours that I left, but I'd also have
right,
an impact on whatever person or show they put in place of where I left. And so they wanted to make sure that I wasn't competing with them. And I was like, I don't want to
Right.
compete with them. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in being on at 10 o'clock at night, or I'm not interested in being on at 6 or 7 in the morning. So anyway, I had to renegotiate my exit. So no, they don't get it. They think that the network is, the end all be all, and that you must have 3 letters in front of your name in order to be a successful journalist. And I'm here to tell people that that is bullshit, and that you are the
Right.
star, and that your talent carries on even beyond the network, especially if you are a talent of a certain caliber. There is
Right.
there's no comparison to it. A network's a network. It's got the reach, but you have your name, you have your talent, and people are always going to tune into you. And you know, careful what you wish for, networks, because you just might get it, but then you just might lose it too.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that. Being within that infrastructure for so long though, and stepping away, it's sort of like stepping away from corporate and starting your own business or your own company. It's not as easy as everybody think it is. Did you have any, I wouldn't say regret. That's not even the word I'm looking for. But did you have any fear? Which I know you're fearless, but when you are part of something for so long, and kind of used to the structural system of how things are, then okay, I'm just going to do my own thing. Was there any fear there or any slight doubt in any type of way that you can just start your own thing?
Well, look, it's I don't know if there was any fear. Um, But there, of course, there was doubt, because this is a completely different thing that I'm doing. People think like, okay, it's, you just go and you do what you did when you were on television. And that
Right.
is, they are 100% misinformed. It's not. It is a business. I had to become an entrepreneur, and you have to think about, where's your audience going to come from? Which platforms are you going to be on? Are those platforms going to want you or allow you? You have to sell the
Right.
show. You have to sell
Right.
concepts, all of that. You have to basically go and what do they pound the pavement? And like I had to go, hey Spotify, I have a show idea. Are you
Right.
interested? Hey Apple, blah blah blah. And I went to all those people, and they were interested in the show, but they wanted the show to be different than what I wanted it to be. And
Mm, I know
yeah, and
about
they
that.
said, well, oh no, we don't do live. We're not interested in video, so it's just audio. This is a couple times a week.
Really?
You interview some celebrities and whatever. And I was like, no.
Right.
And there were people saying, "Well, that's just the way it is, Don. You got to, you can do it." And I said, "That's not what I want to do." And so I set out. I started doing what I wanted to do. I said, "People know me from doing live television and being in front
Right.
of a camera. Why am I going to reinvent the wheel? I believe in
Right.
this, and that's what I'm going to do." And when I adopted that attitude, that's when it started to take off, with or without those people who may not have been interested or didn't understand what I wanted to do. And then just months later, after I started my show, the same entities who had told me that that's not the concept that they were interested in suddenly started calling me, asking me to speak to their employees and at their conferences and meetings about how to do live, how to do video, how to do
Hmm.
memberships. And I'm like, oh, so now you want to know
You're
from me.
interested.
It's
Hmm.
it's weird. I mean, look, it's a weird place to be in. And let me just say, for the folks who are out there, when I was in corporate media, the one thing that the one experience that I'm grateful for here is that when I was in corporate media, I would ask all the time, why don't we have more black producers? Why don't we have more black this? Why don't we have more black that? And they'd always say, oh man, we just can't find them. They're just not out there somewhere. I have been
What?
hiring people. There are so many talented black people out there. It is ridiculous. I wish that I could hire them. And people who are on the sidelines, who've had, great positions at networks and, at other companies, who have amazing resumes and not just experience, but accomplishments under their belt. And these networks are getting rid of them. I
Right.
mean, black
Absolutely.
women are, whoo,
Yeah.
the most talented people out there. I'm like, why is this lady not working? And then I see some bullshit producer at a network that is,
Right.
giving
Right.
anchors misinformation on the television. And I'm like, I don't know, but I do know why. But that is if anybody's out there and you're listening, no matter what profession you're in, but especially if you're in journalism, you're a black journalist, it's bullshit. When people say that they can't find qualified black journalists for these positions, they are lying or lazy or not interested or both, or all
Right.
three, I should say.
You think that, I mean, I feel personally that, it's a control factor, and it is by design. Being on the inside, though, do you feel the same way about that, though?
What do you mean?
Is it a certain amount of, they can only hire a certain amount of colored people on different platforms? Like, why do you think that that's so? Because we are seeing this shift in, so many people are getting laid off, man, of these networks, that are really really good, and just out of the blue, they're getting laid off, and they're being replaced with people that's not as talented.
Hmm. So, and you said, yeah, that is happening. That is a fact, in my opinion, but it's also a fact. Um, you asked if they thought that they could only hire a certain number of people. I don't think that. I don't think that they thought that they could certainly hire a number of people. Um, I think that people hire people who they know, and they hire people who look like them, and they hire people who
Right,
have the same cultural and social experience and experiences as them, and also socioeconomic. Same socioeconomic level. If you have worked in corporate America, you know that every summer or winter or fall, whatever, spring, summer, fall, or spring interns that come in, a lot of them have connections. They know the daddy,
absolutely.
the boss knows their daddy, plays golf with their dad, worked with their dad, was in the same fraternity, went to the same university or whatever. And so you end up hiring the same people over and over and over again. And someone needs to break that cycle. That's why I believe in diversity and management of networks. And I believe if they hired more black people at these networks, and not just give them, a figurative, in name only position as the leader of a network, um, and allow them to be who they are in their full blackness, that these networks would be doing better right now. Instead, they get
Right,
some of the folks and they put them in positions, and some of those folks could be like some of the people who get the thumbs down from the National Association of Black Journalists, and they only care
right,
about themselves and the green that's in their pocket, or holding on to their positions rather than doing the right thing, excuse me, for themselves, for the company, and for the country. And so I believe if they allowed black people to be in these positions, because we know who's watching television during the day, black women.
right,
Who's
right.
who's going out
Absolutely.
to vote, black women. Who is running the household, women in general. And a lot of those are black women. Black women, I believe, especially older black women, are still watching corporate and network television in droves. They're like
Right,
the last standing, army against this digital media that's coming in. Right now, for the first time, 70% plus, I think it's like 73% maybe, of people in America tune in to streaming and social and independent media rather than corporate media to get their news.
right,
That's
right,
saying something.
right, right. I absolutely agree with you on that. I mean, you basically, your phone the phone is everything now,
Yeah.
and the landscape is changing. Network, cable, we know that that's kind of playing out because everybody's watching their favorite shows on the apps now. So everything's kind of converting over to these apps now, and
Hmm.
those, they're running the numbers up on that because of course they had to reconfigure that when they seen that cable networks and stuff like that were losing numbers wise and financially. So now they're basically just converting everything over to apps, taking your favorite shows off of, that's basically was on free cable, adding it onto these apps now. So now you'll have 15 apps that you're paying 9.99 for, or whatever it is. They're gonna
Hmm.
app you to death. So it's all a game, and being able to make those transitions to make some good business decisions, being in this space right here. It's a lot of competition in this space as well. So definitely having good content and being able to sustain, it's definitely, it could be challenging. It could be challenging.
Yeah.
I think quality over quantity will always stand the test of time, in my opinion.
Well, yes, that's true. But in this digital space, quantity is also very important because the more you put out, which is also can be problematic, then the more money you make.
Right,
And I think that people tend maybe to put out or post or drop, whatever you want to call it, junk, just so that they can make some money,
Right.
When the real way to do it is to scale. You have to scale the business to the size that is manageable for you, and then you have to monitor the growth, and then once you have the growth, then you start adding other things. I actually did it backwards. I went to people that had been my advisors in traditional media, and I was like, and they did a business plan for my show that was based on traditional media, and I didn't realize that in the beginning that it's not the same. That formula doesn't
Right.
work anymore. People don't make the same amount of money. It's not the same type of job that is in traditional media. And why would it be? Why would we recreate what's in corporate media when it is failing? That what the definition of insanity is: doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So
Right.
I had to completely evolve and then realize, like, hey, this isn't traditional media. I don't need two writers and four producers and blah, blah, blah. I don't need all of that. I don't need a giant studio that I'm paying, a gazillion dollars for a month in Manhattan. I can have a small studio, or I don't have to have a studio at all. As long as Don
Right.
Lemon is there talking that shit that you want to hear from
Right.
Don Lemon, then people are good.
Let's go. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now the arrest, I felt like was bizarre after covering the protests at the city churches. When that happened though, Don, what went through your mind when you realized you were being taken into custody for standing up for something right?
Well, it was, look, let me tell you, it was a surprise, and it wasn't, because they had been saying the entire time, like, oh, we're going to arrest him for this. And they kept going from judge to
Really?
circuit. Oh my gosh. So when I did it, I'm not sure that this would even be a news story or a thing if I wasn't there. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's true. I mean, because they had been coming after me for such a long time, or had been in their targets. I had been a target of
Right.
theirs for a long time. So they had been saying that they wanted to arrest me, and with each attempt, they failed. With three, they failed.
Right.
They went to a magistrate judge. The magistrate judge said, no, this is BS. Then they went to, I think, a circuit judge or something. I forget the exact judge they went to. And then they went to the Eighth Circuit, I believe, or some circuit, and they said no. So they went three different places. And then you've heard the saying, with a grand jury, you can indict a ham sandwich, right? So then
Right.
their last option was to go to a grand jury, which is a secret proceeding, which they get to present all the evidence in secret. No one knows. There's no transparency. They get to say to the grand jurors whatever they want, whether it is true, false, factual, not factual. But there is the presumption of regularity that people will present to the grand jury what is
Hmm.
proper. In this
Right.
environment, you cannot have the presumption of regularity in this environment. And so, to answer your question just quickly, so just recently in my case, my attorneys, and it's public, the story just came out yesterday or the day before. In my case, the judge has ordered the Justice Department to hand over all of the grand jury testimony, information, um,
Wow.
evidence, questions, answers, everything. It's something that is highly unprecedented, because you don't have the presumption of regularity anymore with this particular
Right.
Justice Department. So, how did I feel? I mean, I felt violated. It was shocking to me, because I thought I was getting mugged, getting into an elevator, and it was late. I was covering the Grammys in LA, and I was going to my hotel in Beverly Hills, and they kind of like, who are you? Whatever. I was jostling around. Where's the warrant? Whatever. They didn't have it. They had to go find it, and someone had to show me a picture on the cell phone or whatever. But then I just became very calm. Usually in crisis situations or emergencies, I'm very calm. I become really calm. And I just said, okay, in this moment, I'm just going to be the journalist, and I'm going to observe this as a journalist. And I'm going to
Right.
remember these details, as many details as possible. They had trouble getting the handcuffs on my bracelet, which was, a gift from my husband for our wedding. And so
Right.
that's like, I remember that. And then I had to take it off. And one of the FBI agents said, I'll take it up to the room and tell your husband or whatever. And that was the only reason that people knew I was arrested, or knew where I was, because he had to go up to the room and share that with my husband. Otherwise, people would have been like, oh my God, Don has been, accosted or kidnapped or whatever, he's missing.
Right.
So
Right.
I was in that moment. I was kind of grateful for that because I thought people would know, and I didn't. I was not allowed to make a phone call, so I couldn't tell anybody. Nobody knew where I was.
Wait,
So had
so
it
that
not
that's
been for
against the
that,
law too, though, right? That's
I
definitely
I don't
against the law.
I think that may be TV jargon. I don't, because no one has said that that was against the law that you get your one phone call. I never got my one phone call. The one
Wow.
phone call that I got was the next day when I was able to speak with a representative who was my attorney. And by then I didn't need to call anybody because the attorney was there. And so,
Right.
I don't know if I was able to get someone on the phone then, but anyways, so yeah, it was jarring, and so I just that's how I did it. I was very calm about it, and then I had to do what I had to do the next day. I had to do the fingerprints. I had to do all the things, and the folks there were saying, well, this is so weird. Like they want us to take pictures and they want us to take video of you walking with you, all this stuff. And he goes, but
Right.
we've never had to do this before. You know what they were trying to do? They were trying to embarrass me. And
Exactly.
so the next day when it all happened, when it got out, and that when my representatives, because they don't know. They don't know that I'm me. And so there was a
Right.
whole plan in place. And so when they went up to give that bracelet to my husband and informed him, my husband called my PR person and the attorney. And the attorney got someone who was in LA to represent me. The PR person started putting together the announcement, the release to go out. And so by the time the government got their shit together to be able to do it, my folks had already done it. So we had shaped the narrative about
Right.
what it was. So it's like,
Right.
hey, I'm just saying. Uh, so it had been. I did not know that this was all going on, but there was a thing in place, and I felt like maybe, perhaps it was, but I had no idea that it was as big as it was. And then by the time it got out, and they started hearing the news reports and the public sentiment, I think they started to realize, like, okay, we need to back off of this. And then when I came out, and there were helicopters and paparazzi and media from all over the world out there, I had no idea what it was going to be. I think they realized the public sentiment and what they got themselves into, and they said, okay, let's hold off on this because we don't know who this person is, something else. And that was
Right.
it. So yeah, that was it.
Man, that I'm just yeah, we definitely just praying that things continue to go the way that they're supposed to go, man, because like all of this stuff that they're trying to do, it's just insanity, man. It's
Yeah.
insanity. It's really, really sad. Um, and all of this ties into, do you think the whole move, the whole CNN being let go from there, you think that this is still trailing um they're trying to get their get back in a way?
They're trying to get their get back. What do you mean?
Yeah, just like, from the whole firing thing or whatever, to me, nobody agreed with all of that stuff. I'm saying, you know, all of these things still happening and you're still dealing with this right now. Do you think that they're still trying to shame you, still trying to shut you down in a way? It seems like this is all tying in some type of way.
You mean the government and like
Yeah,
CNN?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I think CNN is nervous about me because they know that I'm not afraid to say anything. I think they're nervous about what I can say and what I know about them, and they should be, right?
Right,
So I'm not sure they're playing into that. Maybe behind the scenes something is happening that I don't know about. But publicly, every single one of publicly, I don't know what they're saying behind the scenes and behind my back. But everyone has been extremely supportive of me, especially in this whole
awesome.
thing that happened with the arrest, because they know that if it's bad for me, if they get away with what they're doing with me, then they're next. Then it's a
Right,
problem for not just me, it's a problem for all journalism, and not just journalism, all media. If they can tell you where
right,
you can do your show, where you can't do your show, what you can talk about on your show, then you're in trouble. If they start telling reporters what they can report about, where they can report about it, who they can report on, then this whole grand experiment is over. So I don't know if this is connected in the sense of CNN and the government. I think that CNN is probably, in some sense, very proud of the journalism that I'm doing, but they're hesitant to admit it because it makes them look bad, like they made a mistake by firing me. But that's their business. That's not mine. And I
Right.
think the government is desperate to have a win because they're losing so many cases. And to get someone like me and have me, have to do whatever is a feather in their cap. And um, it, it plays well for their party, for the MAGA faithful, and for conservative media. And so I think that they're going to try to do everything they can to make this case stick or do whatever they can. And they probably did within the grand jury. Perhaps they did within the grand jury say or do whatever they could to get them to sign off on an arrest warrant for me. So is it connected in the sense of CNN is coordinating with the government? No. But is it connected in the sense that they are trying to silence Black voices and voices who are holding this administration and Republicans accountable, and to call out the racism and the bullshit that happens among white people and especially conservatives and liberals? Yeah, I do think that they're maybe on the same page with that, because that's why they got rid of me. One reason is that they wanted to make room for liars, insurrection deniers,
Right.
election deniers, and such. And so they wanted to make room for MAGA liars. I mean,
Wow.
and look, all you have to do, look at the people they have on. Some of their biggest, or at least one of their biggest stars, is the MAGA faithful, who could end up becoming the White House press secretary, who gets to say whatever shit he wants about people, lie, insults people, women, all kinds of crazy things. They're not firing him. And he says worse shit
Exactly.
than I ever said on television. So you know what's
Wow.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, as we're
And the
getting
best
ready
way
to
you guys
close
want to do,
out,
if you're talking about, I'm sorry to cut you off. If you're talking about supporting people, then if you want to, what you do, you support independent journalists, support Black journalists, because we are the ones who are getting laid off from jobs, losing jobs faster and more than anyone. Everyone is in the media business. But support, become a subscriber, become a member to our programs,
right?
become a member. Buy some of my memberships are like $2.99, $3.99, $4.99. $6.99, $7.99. People spend more money in a freaking coffee every
Yeah,
single day. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
How is it going to
absolutely.
hurt you to pay $5.99? I know times are tough. Don't get me wrong, but if you can pay $5.99 or $6 for a mocha laco frappe grande, you can pay that for a membership for Don Lemon and support the cause and support democracy and support Black folks.
Right. Really quick, Don, before we get out of here, your thoughts on the Nolan Wells case. This is the most bizarre. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff, but I'm seeing this continue on probably a whole nother year. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. What's going on? Would love to get your quick thoughts on. No, you can't say too much about it, but your thoughts.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, this is not my case, so I can talk about it. But let me just say, I don't know how much it's going to go on. I think it's going to go on for a while, but not
Right.
as long as you think, because eventually, and I think they already have it. The autopsy is to come out, whatever is in there. I think they have it. They just haven't released it. The district attorney yesterday released a statement. Was it yesterday or the day before? The night before. Night, as they say, night before last, as we say.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
she released a statement saying, just because this is happening doesn't mean it's true. This person says that doesn't mean it's true. I can't control what comes out of people's mouths. As a DA, I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't speak on this. And to me, and to at least one legal professional I spoke to, it says, to me, it sounded defensive. And to
Right.
both of us, it sounded defensive. And to her, who is a seasoned journalist and also lawyer, Katie Fang, who's also an independent journalist now, she said it sounded like they were trying to prepare people for an outcome and for information that they may not be happy with. And so,
Damn.
but here's what I believe. I think no matter what the outcome is, whether it's accidental, whether some people were involved, whatever it is, I think that people are going to believe what they believe now. If it turns out that they say it was accidental and no foul play, I'm just saying, if it does, I think people are going to say, oh, they hid some shit. They
Right.
definitely didn't do a thorough investigation. This sounds fishy, and so on. If they find out that something did happen, then they'll say, oh, they set these young men up. They didn't. It's not their fault that this blah, 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 blah.
Man,
So people are
no
going to
shit.
believe whatever it is that they believe. That's it.
Yeah, because the water is so tainted now that you're right. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right. Either way the outcome goes, that's how people are going to think, because it's
Yeah.
going it's going that way right now. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate you speaking on that. And for any inspiring journalist, man, that's trying to get in this game, um, any encouraging words that you can give them, man, just from the source, they're getting it from Don. Any encouraging words you can give anybody that's inspiring out there right now to just get into this
For,
journalist game?
so look, I would say for any aspiring journalist or anyone in any profession who that they aspire to, or that they're in and they're not so happy about it, maybe they want to pivot or whatever it is. From my experience, I will tell you that you it sounds like a cliche, but you must believe in yourself. And if there's something that is on your heart, that weighing on your heart, or that you want to do, that's on your spirit and you want to do it, I would say be cognizant and realistic about your talents and your ability to be able to do it. And then sometimes, even with that, you have to throw caution to the wind. But
Right.
if you are qualified and you understand the world, maybe not necessarily, entrepreneurship or, being a business owner, do it. Don't let perfection be the enemy of the good, especially in this media space. If you're good at doing makeup, go start your own makeup thing on social media or whatever. If you're good at cutting hair, go cut some hair, tell people how to do it, come to your shop. Whatever it is that you want to do. If you're great at nails, there are people who are making millions of dollars by showing people how to do their fingernails on the internet. So just remember that
Exactly.
if you have this desire and you move forward, you start putting momentum into that desire, the universe or God, however you define that the thing that's out there, it will give you an assist. And if you keep pushing through and keep believing in yourself and keep going, it's going to keep assisting you. If you have been on this earth for 18 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50, 60, 70, and the universe has gotten you, God has gotten you this far, where is the evidence that that he or she will let you down? The
Right.
evidence is more in your favor because it's been helping you and keeping you afloat and helping you to succeed this far. Maybe you've gotten to the end of the line where you are. Just remember, the end of the line is not necessarily the end of the journey. You just need to take a turn to the right or a turn to the left or jump over the wall and start your own thing and do your own thing. Just believe in yourself and stay committed.
Absolutely, man. I love that. Definitely appreciate that. Guys, listen, the Don Lemon Show is streaming everywhere. Catch Lemon live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time daily. Also, listen, follow Don Lemon, man, on IG at Don Lemon Official, and join the Lemon Nation, man. Go join the Lemon Nation. I'm telling you, y'all make sure y'all get tapped in. Go ahead, Don.
Can I make it easy for you? Because I
Yes.
say this every day. If you would like to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, go to donlemon.com. Donlemon.com. When you get to donlemon.com, there'll be a black bar on there that you click on. You click on that black bar and you go on the website. It's DL plus DL. Anything goes. DL Hughley and Don Lemon are starting a nationwide tour on September 11th in Fort Lauderdale. And we're coming to a city near you all the way across the country. We'll end up in Los Angeles and New York in November and December. So if you want to become a member, I would suggest that you go to the Don Lemon, just go to donlemon.com, but click on our YouTube page, which is an arrow. It looks like a play button. Become a subscriber. It is free. Become a member. Hit the join button and pick whatever membership that you want to be on. Certain tiers of membership, you get to be on the show. If you're a Lemon caller, you get to call into the show and state your opinion. If you're a Lemon legend, which is the highest tier of our membership, you get to be on every week, just like you and I are here right now
Right.
talking and state your opinion, just like any consultant, reporter, correspondent, analyst on the TV. You get to be on the Don Lemon Show and state your opinion just like them, coming from real people. So that's what you do. Support us. Go to our Substack. Our Substack, we have a Lucky Lemon 7 newsletter that comes out every morning at 7. 7 things you need to know before you start your day. This is a media company that we're building. It's a network that we're building. It's not just a channel or a show.
I love it. I love it. Guys, y'all make sure y'all get tapped in. Don, I just want to thank you again on behalf of me and the whole entire team. This has been an absolute honor to be able to talk to you, man, and get any of your time today. Thank you so much. We're wishing you more blessings and more success with everything that you're doing right now and in the future, brother. We love you, and just know you are ours, Don Lemon, man. You're ours. We
Thank
love you,
you.
Don.
Thank you, my namesake. You are the Don. Just saying.
Thank you so much. Don Lemon, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to, let me shout a few people out, man, in the chat real quick, man. Everybody's been going so crazy, man. Let me shout them out. Shout out to our very own, our queen, Strong Jewel. Shout out to Isaac, man. Isaac Morgan. That's my guy. That's our publicist over there who made this thing happen, man. Love you, brother. Shout out to Vibe Show Casper in the building. Shout out to my cuz Martine Turner 421. Appreciate that love. Shout out to Juice, my brother Andre Gibson 3999 pulled up. Thank you for showing my guest so much love. Shout out to Dustin Cole 7331. Shout out to Julia Masayo. Shout out to Julia Masayo. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Shout out to the one and only Roman Stewart 8450 from Baton Rouge. My guy, Buddy the Barber. Shout out to Kiana Amani. That's my girl right there. Shout out to her 10466. Appreciate that love. Let's see who else we got on here. And shout out to Marcia Gray 1630, man. Appreciate that love. Listen, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate y'all. Make sure that y'all go and visit the Vibe Show official radio station. Go visit us at www.thevibeshow979.net. Make sure y'all go and tune in when we playing all of the hits 24/7, man. Hit that request tab. You can request your favorite jam. We play the new and the old. Don't get it twisted. We're not just turned up all day long. We gonna vibe out. We play all of the vibes, old and new, take you back in that time machine, man. So make sure y'all go over there and check us out. Also, too, make sure y'all follow us on the gram and follow us on Facebook at the Vibe Show 97.9. Listen, I want to tell everybody I love y'all. Y'all make sure that y'all be safe out there. Have a safe day. Have a blessed day. And remember, more love, less hate makes the world a better place. I love y'all. Peace. Hey, and look, by the way, before we get out of here too, I just want to say again, thank you to everybody, man, for all the support and all of the love that y'all been giving us, man. We really appreciate y'all. We wouldn't be able to do none of this stuff that we now if it wasn't for all of the love and all of the support, man. So I hope everybody have a blessed rest of your day. It's the Vibe Show. I'm Kano the Don. I love y'all. Peace. We out. Episode. If you did enjoy this episode, hit that like, share, and subscribe button and turn on that bell notification so you'll be notified every time another exclusive Vibe Show Live episode goes up. Thank you for all the love and support. Peace.